Georgetown at Cincinnati, Saturday college basketball. Who do you like and why?
Well, RJ, I like Georgetown in this game, and we're going to talk about revenge as the big motivator. And you've heard me talk about in the Big East particularly, and it's a conference that I follow very closely because of Pitt being in it. The Big East, to me, is so competitive that when you get the upper portion of the teams, it's so hard to beat the same team twice in the same year. And that's the premise of this play. And if you remember last week, and I don't remember if you blessed it or not, but when we did Georgetown-Syracuse, it was the exact same principle. Georgetown had went to Syracuse, beat them there. I took Syracuse. I actually didn't because that was last Saturday when I taped by myself.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have gave your blessing.
And you went 1 and 2 over that?
And I won that. Yeah, I won 1
You
and 2.
won that one.
Yeah, I won that one. So that concept worked last week, and we're going to go to the well again. Worst offensive performance for the season by Georgetown in that meeting against Cincinnati. They shot 12 of 48 from the field, only scored 46 points.
Okay, so here's the question always. When you have a second matchup and you have a team that played poorly in the first matchup, there's two ways to look at it. One, they're going to redeem themselves, in this case Georgetown, or two, there's something schematically. There's something about the players. I mean, just think about it. In poker and when you used to play, you know, pick up basketball in high school or whatever, certain guys guard you better. It's just matchups that are inevitably more difficult than others. What makes you, assuming that each handicap is valid, what makes you feel like it's going to be a redemption from Georgetown rather than the fact that Cincinnati looks so good or the Cincinnati matched up so well?
You know, whether it's a matchup thing, what you look at, and it's hard to say because unless you're watching every single game and every play and just say that, you know, that this team just defenses them so well, what we look at is over the course of the season, what teams shoot against them. And that was just above and below both teams' normals. Georgetown doesn't shoot that bad, and Cincinnati just doesn't hold teams to that bad of a shooting percentage. So I think we're going to have more come back to the norm here. I think there's value with Georgetown. Georgetown was a very good commodity first half of the season. They were highly ranked, top 10 team, playing very well. The luster's fallen off them because they have lost some games down the stretch. They don't want to go into the Big East tournament losing 4 of their last 5 games. I think they're going to bring it because you're going to see with a lot of the plays I have this week, I'm going to talk about senior day, the final home game and the extra motivation. But here's a situation where I am going to ignore that, but I have a reason, and that reason was that first meeting was so, you know, out of the ordinary.
All right, so you're saying at this point you consider Georgetown to be undervalued?
At this point, yes, because of the way they've played the last several games.
All right, so back to that now. There's always a reason people overreact is they played poorly in the last several games. Is there something about those games that make you think that it's deceiving how poorly they played? Or is it just, yeah, they have played poorly, but people have overreacted to the fact that they've played poorly?
I think that, you know, one, definitely they're overreacting to the scores. They played a lot of the elite teams down the stretch in the Big East. And let's face it, I don't want to beat it to death, but the Big East, I believe, far and away the best conference in basketball.
So if that's true, so you're saying the fact that these teams are tallying losses is just inevitable? It
is, and the other point of it is, not only is the Big East deep and a good conference, it is one of the more physical conferences. They play hard defense, physical defense, and I think a lot of times that takes its wear and tear on the course of the season, and you get a team that maybe played several games, 4 games in a 10-day period, and some big physical games. Georgetown, teams like that, Pitt, where they muscle.
Okay, so but we're not talking generally. We're talking specifically. What is it about Georgetown that if somehow, some way they were beat up or they were tired, why is it that they're not tired all of a sudden? If that hindered their performance just in the last game, why wouldn't it hinder them now?
Well, it's the final game of the season. After this, they don't play till they go to the Big East tournament, which will be next Wednesday or Thursday. They'll play because they get a bye in the first round.
But usually the Saturday, Wednesday is the schedule anyway.
Last game, just with the motivation. I just feel that there's going to be more of an emphasis for Georgetown to get off this losing streak, to get into the
So really,
tournament.
this is a motivation play for you.
Absolutely.
How would you characterize Cincinnati's motivation?
Well, Cincinnati's down the stretch, honestly, they are playing their best. They're peaking at the right time going into the Big East tournament. So they might feel a sense of self-fulfillment right now and feel confident about themselves, which can work to their advantage too. You're getting ready for. I got to give my prediction before.
Your prediction
before Judge Judy speaks and gives her ruling.
Wapner, baby.
The line on this game, I projected it 2.5. It's come out 3. So pretty much on the money. A little bit more towards the Cincinnati side, which can be expected off of that first meeting. Beating them as bad as they did. I'm going to go with Georgetown. Pull the upset, 64-60. Take Georgetown plus the points.
All right, this is rare. I'm going the other way on this one.
The other way.
I like the home team against the more. This feels like almost the same. And it's weird because you look at we did the Kansas video, and for those that haven't checked that out, you can at pregame.tv. You can get all of our videos. But it feels like it's the same game, but you're taking the opposite side.
But,
in the
but
Kansas
there's
game,
one cool.
That's what I want to.
Yeah, there's one big difference. Cincinnati went into Georgetown and beat Georgetown there.
Which
Kansas
all that can do is motivate you. Like that loss could only motivate you. It's not magical. You don't win because you lost the last game. So you're saying Georgetown is going to be motivated. Well, Kansas is playing for the Big 12 title. They're going to be You got a motivated road team against a motivated home team, and for somehow you think there's value on the road team. The only thing that could go ahead.
See, you're comparing it to this game, and I'm comparing this one to last week's Syracuse at Georgetown. It's the identical game there where I took the road team. Exact same setup verbatim. If you watched last week's tape, go back. We're saying all the same stuff. I smell a bet. If you're going the other way, we got to, you just don't, you can't just randomly say I disagree with you and not put your money where your mouth is.
First off, I'm the CEO, so I can't. But I won't. So a nickel?
Yeah, a
now,
nickel.
Let me ask you this. I feel pretty strongly that the public's going to bet Georgetown here. So it feels like I should be able to get to lay 2.5.
He's always trying to get the best of it. I think you're wrong, but I want you to give me the extra half a point.
I'm just saying, where do you think this line's going?
I put the line at 2.5.
So let's bet at that now.
You know what? I'll do it because I have confidence in my plays. Plus, I've got a pocket full of your cash to pay you back if I lose.
Remember in The Sopranos when there was $6,000 and the politician said, "Oh, maybe we should just cover it," and Tony said, "That's why you're a politician and not a businessman. Maximum value." All right, minus 2.5 for a nickel.
There we go. $500 bet.
It's your turn to continue the conversation in the comment section. And please, don't tell me how stupid I am for bucking Marco. I get it. And we're going to be back with another Saturday game.
The best bet.
Marco's best bet. What's your record on that?
5-1 for the season.
On basketball.
On best bets, yes, sir.
Marquette at Seton Hall.